Okay. Hello. Welcome, welcome. I'm LJ with CoMuse, and it's so good of you to make time to be here with me today. If you're new to my channel, it's very nice to meet you. I'm LJ with CoMuse, the mindful business community for music, media, arts, and entertainment, creative entrepreneurs, and professionals. And I am a professionally credentialed coach, and I help individuals and teams create win-win outcomes in their careers, leveraging confidence and compassion. So I really focus on the soft skill stuff, and that helps strengthen your trade skills, which make your career go exponentially better, exponentially further. Without them and without people skills in general, it's a really hard place out there, especially if you work in entertainment. So great to have you here. And if you have a career question, please say hi in the chat and throw your question in the chat. I am so excited to get to those questions. And before we get started, I just want to let you know that you're so welcome here. This is a free career coaching and mentorship session for those of you working in entertainment, music, media, the arts. So I want to invite you to listen in, and if you feel brave, throw your question in the chat. I want to get to as many questions as possible today, and excited to have you here. So again, if you are just tuning in now, say hi in the chat and where you're tuning in from. And if you have a career question or a challenge that you are working through right now, I am here for you. You're not alone. This is the time to get your questions answered, or we can figure them out together. I can be a great thinking partner as a professional coach and mentor. I've been doing this for many, many, many years, 30 years in the industry. And I am a professionally credentialed coach, and I practice this stuff every day. So let me hear from you. And I want to just draw your attention to the chat. I have posted a guide. It's a free guide that you can grab anytime during this call. And if you don't grab it until after the call, it will be in the description box. But this is a guide that I put specifically together for people working in music, media, arts, and entertainment. It is your soft skills roadmap to success that complements your trade skills in your career. So things like mindful work tracker, being mindful and practicing self-awareness in your workday is such a powerful way to make your workday go so much more smoothly, your work more enjoyable, your relationships better and less conflicting. Mindful self-awareness is just a wonderful practice in general, but specifically for those of us working in the arts and entertainment industry, we tend to deal with a lot of heightened emotions flying around us, maybe even within us. And so mindful work helps us cope. It helps us become a little bit more well-versed in internal and external perspectives. So it helps us become more resilient and manage all of that great stuff throughout our workday, and provides more longevity in our careers. If you're just joining us, welcome. I'm LJ. I'm the founder of CoMuse, which is the mindful business community for people working in music, media, the arts, and entertainment. You are so welcome here. I am doing this free Q&A to answer your career questions. So if you have any questions, please throw them in the chat. You do not have to share anything that is in confidence. As a matter of fact, please do not share anything that's in confidence. But if you have something situational that you are working through right now, I am happy to be your thinking partner and coach you through. So please take advantage of the chat. And I do have some questions here that have come in, and also that I've aggregated, that have been asked of me time and time again over the many years that I've been coaching. And so we're going to start with the area of confidence and self-worth. So confidence and self-worth, Is a big one for a lot of people working in the creative industries. And one of the questions that I'm asked often is, how do I stay confident in my creative work when I am constantly comparing myself to more successful artists and entrepreneurs? This is a big one. I'm going to read it again. How do I stay confident in my creative work when I'm constantly comparing myself to more successful artists and entrepreneurs? Right. So, such a great question. It is a challenging situation. We are in an ever evolving industry of creative people, whether we are artists or perhaps we are working on the business side of the art, or perhaps we are both. In my case, I am both. And negotiating with ourselves about where we stand in relationship to other artists, to other professionals, is an ever-changing, moving, evolving thing. And so one of the best things that I like to do is to recommend just getting really clear on what is most important to you and measuring that against your success metrics. So that is your success metric, excuse me. So if what is most important to you is, let's say you're a singer, I'm a singer. So let's say you're a singer, for example, the metric for success here could be the most beautiful sound, making the most beautiful sound. Then that key metric can get measured over time, right? So performance over performance, you can ask yourself, how am I measuring up in making the most beautiful sound? Rather than, how does my beautiful sound compare to someone else's beautiful sound? The fact of the matter is that art is subjective. We all know this, and there are billions of people on the planet who appreciate many different forms of art. There are always going to be fans of a specific type of art, and it could be your art. So to compare your art to someone else's art, sure, there's techniques that you can learn. Perhaps there's some more education you can get under your belt. But as a working professional, it might be even more useful to you to create an internal metric for success. For example, as a singer, what is the most beautiful sound I can make? And on a count of 1 to 5, how beautiful was my sound in this performance versus that performance? So rather than comparing to elements and people that are also moving around and evolving, it might be even more useful to you to compare against yourself. So best time, best sound, right? A metric that is within your control from the inside out. I hope that is helpful and makes sense. It certainly is a way to motivate you intrinsically and keep you going in your career. It provides longevity in your career. You know, when we get into the arts and entertainment, music and media, we get into it because we fucking love it. We get into it because we love it. We're passionate about it. And we want a lifetime career in it, if we can make it happen, right? If we're lucky enough to make it happen. We want a long career in these industries. And so comparing ourselves to others is comparing ourselves to something that is outside of ourselves. It's often outside of our control. So what key metrics to success that can you define that you can control from the inside out? I hope that is helpful. I just love that question, and it's a big one. I would just argue, like, do your best to not compare yourself to others. It is a losing battle. There will always be people that are better pop culture, better and worse than you. It's not useful. It's not useful. It might help guide you in terms of the type of focus or direction you want to move in. But in terms of besting someone, unless you are literally in a contest with that person, and you have a set of criteria and rules that are for comparison that's explicitly clear, I would say stay away from comparing yourself to others and compare yourself to yourself. This is a great way to manage your success over time. And that way, 6 months from now, you can look back and you can say, wow, look at how much progress I made. It's a win. It's a win. And that type of motivation can only be found from the inside out. That's the stuff that keeps you going in your career. So I am just so excited about this question, and I really appreciate it. We're going to move on to the next question here, which falls under the category of confidence and self-worth. And the question is, how do I confidently talk about my rates and negotiate without feeling guilty or undervaluing my work? I'm going to read it again. How do I confidently talk about my rates and negotiate without feeling guilty or undervaluing my work? So I would just say, great question. And in my work, in my line of work as a coach and a consultant, we talk a lot about pricing. How do you know how to price your service or product? It's a great question. Sure, you can start by doing research to see what the market demands for like type products and services. That's always a great first move. But beyond that, where do you land, right? How do you know what to ask for? And I would say start with value rather than just looking at the price of the thing. Try to value it holistically, right? How much experience are you bringing to the thing? How much knowledge, how much research have you put into this? How many years of career experience do you have going into the thing, right? An overnight success takes 10 years, right? Maybe longer sometimes for some of us. It depends on the service or the thing. Isn't it so true, right? So how much value are you packaging up into the product or the service that you are selling? Try to get very clear on that. And in order to best do that, you got to ask yourself why you're doing the thing. This is really important. Why did you make the thing? Why are you providing the service, right? So let's talk about film, for example. I have a couple of clients I'm working with right now who are working in indie films and production. So for them, they're working on a project. It is a tangible, first it's an intangible thing. It starts with an idea and it goes through concept and then proof of concept, and then it becomes something bigger. It attracts more people into the fold, and you are creating a thing. And eventually it's a thing that can be shared. And then you can get feedback from the thing. So why are you doing the thing? We often forget why we got into this creative industry circuit in the first place. Like sometimes it's because we love the dance, we love film, we love the music, we're so passionate about it. Maybe we make the art ourselves. Maybe we're just art appreciators. All is well in all categories. I'm both, so I really appreciate all sides of this. And sometimes because of money and time, sometimes we can lose sight of why we are doing the thing. Please, I urge you to not lose sight of why you're doing the thing, because the why is your North Star. That is what's going to keep you going. And this gets baked into the value of how you price the thing or the service. Forgive me for calling it a thing or a service, product, service. I think you're with me, but it's so important to bake the value of why you are doing this into your product or service. That is going to help really give you clarity on pricing and how you sell the pricing to your ideal customer. Okay. Don't be scared of a no, by the way. In sales, one no means one no closer to a yes. It's a numbers game. So just keep going. If someone tells you no, that's awesome information. So just take that information, thank them, Hey, thanks for the no. This is awesome. I'd love to understand why you said no. Even better, if you could get more information from them about the no, that is so helpful because that helps you fine tune your product or service pricing as you continue to sell it into market and the addressable market. Fine tune the addressable market to your ideal customer avatar until you're talking to a person who gets it. And not only are they not scared of paying the price, they want it. They want to pay the price. They are ready to take their wallets out and go for it, make that transaction. So sticking with your own value and the reason why you are doing the product or the service and baking that into the pricing and how you sell it and who you sell it to, it really carries you through the whole journey. And also, once they become your customer, it's a reminder of why you're working with the customer, right? So it really has a lifetime value. It's not just about the product or the service pricing, but how far it carries you throughout your career and the life journey of the customer, the team, the band, whomever you're working with in general. So, or specifically. All right. Hopefully that's helpful. And I really want to move on to this next question now. So let's see what we've got here. Next question is, okay, yeah. Oh, this is such a good question. Okay, this next question is, how do I handle collaborations that feel one-sided or where I'm not being credited properly? Okay, I'll read that again. How do I handle collaborations that feel one-sided or where I'm not being credited properly? Oh, it's such a good question. So relationships, let's talk about them. In music media, the arts and entertainment, we need each other. I say this constantly on my YouTube channel here at Compassion Rocks, and also as I'm coaching and working with clients. We are not an island in this business. Even if you are a solopreneur, you need people. We need people. We have to work with others in order to make the thing go great. Okay, so it is so important to really lean into your relationships and figure out how to communicate best in a way that creates win-win outcomes. Everybody wants to win, right? I love to say two things I know for sure in this business. Everybody is struggling with something. Everyone is struggling with something, and everybody wants to be successful. Without a doubt, we all have that in common. It really humanizes this industry when you take an approach to relationships this way. So when you are advocating for yourself, it's really important to get curious and ask questions. So if you are in a situation where you're working on a collaboration with someone else or many somebodies, and it feels one-sided, maybe you feel like you're doing most of the work. Maybe you feel like you have turned into a project manager where you're the one pushing it along in order to meet the agreed deadline. Perhaps they came up with the idea, but you're actually delivering the work. Whatever it is that feels lopsided, it warrants a conversation. So you definitely want to have that conversation, and you want to get really curious in these situations. You want to ask lots of open-ended questions, right? So open-ended questions are questions that do not answer in a yes or a no. They are designed to get as much information from the other person as possible in order to best understand the whole picture. Okay, so a great question here is, for example, hey, I noticed that we agreed on a deadline for this project, the deadline being this date. Do you understand that to be true? Yes or no? That's a closed question, and they will agree because that was the agreed date. If they don't agree, that warrants another conversation. And then you can say, awesome. Well, I have been working on this deliverable and this deliverable, and my understanding is we still need work in this area, which parts have you been working on to contribute to the final thing, and how might we support each other to cross the finish line? So now you're asking an open-ended question and you're inviting them into your world to give you more information to better understand what areas are they working on, how they're thinking about taking them across the finish line by the deadline, and you added in an extra, how might we support each other? Right? This is a two-way street. How might we support each other as we move this across the finish line? So I hope that that is helpful. It's so important to ask questions. When things are happening in relationships and we start to have lately there's a trend of triggered emotions. We call them triggering or triggered emotions. There's heightened emotions that we feel in our body. That is the moment to notice it's time to get curious rather than shut down. Okay, so you might want to take a breath. And if you're feeling a little bit like, I don't really like what's going on here, that's great. That's great self-awareness. That's great to notice. And take a breath. And now it's time to get curious and ask them questions so that you can understand why they're thinking about how they're thinking about the thing. And have a real open dialogue about it. It's actually a very creative, unpressured type of conversation. The objective, far off objective, is that you're coming together for understanding, right? It's not to get them to agree with you. That's not the objective. The objective is to get them to the same page as you for understanding. That's so just to make that distinction, that understanding is different than agreeing. So let me just say that again. Understanding one another, being on the same page and understanding one another is different than agreeing to the same thing. Now, agreement can happen and does often happen as a result of understanding, but the understanding piece is huge. So if you feel like you are not being understood in your working relationship, that you're feeling one-sided, that you might be feeling a little resentful or feeling taken advantage of, or you're not getting the credit where the credit's due, it's really important to first take a beat and invite this person to a conversation about understanding. That's really what this is. It's a great soft skill practice, and it really helps then move the conversation forward to a more tangible place. Okay, now we understand where we're at. Wow, I didn't realize you were thinking about it this way, and I was thinking about it totally different over here this way. Now that we know that, what can we do to come together in agreement, right? So that's the next step. And once you have an agreement, then you can hold each other accountable for that feeling of collaboration and that feeling of accountability and where credit's due. So I hope that's helpful there. I am checking in with you and making sure you see that we have a free guide. I designed a free guide. It's a Creative Entrepreneur Jumpstart Guide. It's totally free for anyone working in music, media, arts, and entertainment that wants a complimentary guide to their trade skills. This is the soft skill stuff. It's going to help you really identify your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's called an inverted SWOT worksheet. There's also a mindfulness tracker. And there's like a bunch of goodies in there. It's all completely free. Grab the guide. I've linked it in the chat here. Feel free to grab it and practice it. And in addition to that, every Wednesday, I lead a free Mindful Work, Mindful Life session on Zoom. And I will link that here as well. So let's see. Any other questions so far? Let's see. Virginia. Oh, hey, Ginge. All right. Hello from San Francisco. We got Clay here. We've got 777 Flowers. Awesome. Oh, wow. Okay. It's so great to have you here. Thanks for joining. This is awesome. I was looking at the wrong tab and now I see everyone. Hi, Summer. Oh, wonderful. So good to see you. Awesome. Thanks for joining today. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. So Ginger says my career challenge is around getting down my plan as I try to build out all of these ideas rattling in my head about streaming certain projects and a podcast in parallel. Oh my goodness. Ginger, I love this so much because this is such like a creative entrepreneur's conundrum, right? Like us creatives, we get you. Like we all have like 1,000 ideas and they're all amazing ideas, right? Swimming around in our head. Where do we start? Where do we start? And the best way I know how to direct you moving forward, Ginger, right now, I'm working with a ladies coaching group right now that's really like skilling up their leadership skills for the year. And this question has come up in this group as well. And the best way I know to direct you is to say a couple of things. So the first thing is, number one, you can do anything you want. You can do anything you want, but you can't do everything you want at the same time. And I know you know this, but it's really important to see how to prioritize. And the best way I know how to prioritize is to figure out what is the single most important, impactful thing that you can do right now to give you, enter the blank, value. Okay, so let me rephrase, let me restate that question. What is the single most important, impactful thing that you can do right now that will give you, and then enter the blank, value? Now, when I say value, I'm talking about your intrinsic core values. So intrinsic core values are things like joy, things like compassion, things like peace, things like freedom, um, things like collaboration, things like creativity. These are intrinsic core values, meaning they come from the inside out. They, if the world were to turn upside down tomorrow, I'm chuckling a little bit because some people would argue that it already has. But if the world were to turn upside down tomorrow, your values from the inside out wouldn't change because they're your essence. They're who you are at your core. Okay. So if you could really narrow it down, all these ideas swimming in your head, and prioritize based on what would give you the single most important, impactful, enter the blank, value right now. Look at your list, write down your list of all of your things, right? Do a timed brain dump. That's such a great way to get ideas out of your head and on paper. Digital paper is cool. I love my iPad. And just get it all out of your head. That's also such a stress release, to get all of these thoughts that are swimming in your head all the time out of your head and where you can see them. And then you can worry about organizing them later. But this question, what is the single most positively impactful, right, an important thing that you can do right now that will give you your intrinsic core value, enter the blank, will really help you narrow down those ideas. And once you get that really narrowed down, that will give you the clarity on how you might move forward to the next step. So I hope that's helpful, Ginger. Great question. And again, it's such a common question for so many of us creative entrepreneurs. It really, really is. So I'm so happy that you asked it, because I'm sure it resonates with a lot of us in this chat right now. Wonderful. Okay, let's see. Clay asks, some people I work with as a freelancer promises things in the future, but they end up being ghost opportunities instead of real ones. I hate that. Is it okay just to tell them not to send me ideas, but to book me? Oh my gosh, Clay, I love this question so much. I love this question so much. I am a big advocate and proponent for direct communication. Say what you mean. You don't have to be a jerk about it, but say what you mean means asking for what you want. and being as succinct and as direct as possible to get there is such a great practice in self-compassion. It's also an act of compassion for others because it saves time. Everybody in this business has more than one job. We've got side hustles. We've got our full-time gig. Maybe our side hustle became a full-time gig. Maybe we're just piecing it together with lots of different things right now. Whatever that looks like, we're busy. We are busy people. So it's so important as an act of self-compassion and as a practice of compassion towards others, in being direct in your communication and asking for what you want, asking for what you need right off the bat. If there's one catch here, if you have an existing relationship with them. If you do not have an existing relationship with them and it's a cold reach out, I would say that a softener statement might be useful. And a softener statement can look like, if you're looking to get booked, a softener statement might look like something like, love your venue. I've actually put some shows in there. I saw this show in there. I really enjoyed the show. I am booking my own tour and I would love to discuss a possible booking at your venue at a time that works for both of us. Can you jump on a call? So that might be a good approach. But if you're finding a lot of people ghosting you, Clay, and I'm so sorry for that. I know that can feel really discouraging. But don't lose faith. Don't lose heart. There's lots of good people out there with great follow through. So it's really important just to keep going. Remember, when you are booking, if you're booking yourself or you're booking a band or an act or a tour, just in general, and I'm speaking from experience as a former booking agent and boutique booking agency owner, it is a numbers game. It's really, really important to just know that a no is one no closer to a yes. Just keep going. Don't take it personally. Do make a mental note that this type of person's personality might be a ghosting type of personality, and maybe don't go to them for the first ask. Maybe they're the backup plan next time you book a tour, right? So managing your own expectations and saving your own time, and you're learning as you're going. It's a process. So important. Such a great question. I hope that's so helpful, Clay. Let me know in the chat if I answered your question. And let's see here. What else? Oh, I'm seeing lots of hearts. Love this. I love this. Okay, let's see. Who else we've got here? Summer. Ginger, no one's letting you do anything can be awful too. Yeah, totally. Yes. When you are feeling stuck, this is a big one, everybody. When you're feeling stuck in the waiting game, right? So you've put something out there and you're just waiting. You're waiting. I hate to break it to you, but the waiting game is you giving away your power. You're giving away your power to the person that you are waiting on. Change your direction. So once you put an ask out there into the universe, okay, this is metaphysically speaking, metaphorically speaking, and literally speaking, right? In the industry, we're constantly making requests and asks from different people, and we're waiting to hear back, right? The ball's in their court. Once that's happened, move on to the next thing. Do not wait. Keep going. Find different directions to move your energy forward. Always keep moving forward. And I know this sounds a little woo, but I am speaking from experience here. This lets the universe know that you are always moving forward, okay? You are not at the mercy of one individual and waiting for them to get back to you. It would be nice if they get back to you, and maybe they will get back to you, but quite frankly, that is outside of your control. And right now, what's in your control is to continue to create and is continue to move in different directions. Ginger, you know how you asked me about all the amazing creative ideas you have swimming in your head? Well, perhaps if you're waiting, perhaps it might be a good time to explore a new idea in a new direction. This is such a wonderful opportunity of resilience and creativity. And so just check in with yourself. If you're starting to feel a little frustrated because you can't move forward because you're waiting on someone else, what might be something that you can do right now to move yourself forward in a different direction? Ask yourself, what might be something you can do right now? Maybe something really small. Maybe it's not a different project, but maybe it's a different task that you can take on, right? So just something to keep the energy moving forward. It is so powerful to practice this. You will have a lot more movement coming back to you. I don't know if you've ever experienced this. This is an interesting one. Every time I go on vacation, and I shit you not, it's weird, but it's kind of speaking to what I'm saying here. Every time I go on vacation, where I'm completely like off device, like checked out, like relaxing, giving myself self-love and self-care and like just totally enjoying my vacation, something in my business happens in a really good way. I close a deal that I was waiting on comes in, but like a signed contract will come in. That's happened a lot. Somebody that I've been waiting to hear from about a collaboration will get back to me in email. Like I won't know any of this until I get back from vacation, but then there it all is in my inbox. Has anybody experienced any of this before? That happens to me every time I go on vacation. It is weird, but it's true. And I really believe it's because I've shifted my energy from waiting to totally focused on something else. And in the case of vacation, I'm focused on me, right? So giving myself love and compassion and self-care and restoration. Summer says, yes, I am future rich. Love that. And successful. Love that, Summer. I know this about you. So many projects in the works. And in the meantime is where it can get challenging. Yes, we have to keep our energy and motivation up as we prepare for the future. Thank you so much, Summer. That is so true. For me, I have to point to my core values, right? I think most of the people watching and in this chat have heard me tell in at least like 3 videos on this channel and maybe in one of our networking events, the importance of core values to me. When I got really clear on my intrinsic core values, my entire life changed really quickly. And I am living my best life even on my worst day. It is absolutely true. It pales in comparison to living in misalignment with my core values when I was lying to myself and telling myself that I was happy when I was truly miserable. And I finally, it took me a long time to learn this, and I teach this now because I'm so passionate about it. But getting clear on core values is like, it's like your heart is singing. And when you come out of alignment or go into misalignment, it feels like your heart is numbing. That's probably a good way to say that or describe that. So it's really important to practice this self-awareness, or as I like to call it, this mindful work, where you're always checking in to know if you are in alignment with your core values, right? So I'll share openly with you, as I've done on this channel many times, my intrinsic core values are their worthiness, they are creativity, integrity, love, intuition, and I'm missing one. I'm going in order here of my chakras: worthiness, creativity, integrity, love, communication, intuition, and compassion. Those are my 7 intrinsic core values. And when I start to feel like my actions in my career and in my life are out of alignment with these core values, I really feel it. My heart starts to feel numb. That's probably a really great way to explain it, how I feel. I start to feel out of alignment. I feel off. I don't feel good. And when I'm in alignment, I'm like unstoppable. And I don't do drugs, but like I think people probably think that I do sometimes because I'm high on life. But it really is. Thank you, Summer. Yes, yes. Let your heart sing. It's so true. I mean, come on. We are in the creative industries. Why wouldn't we want to participate in something like that? We get into music, media, arts, and entertainment because we love it. Why wouldn't we want to let our hearts sing in our careers? Why wouldn't we want to keep our hearts open and lead with our passion, right? Of course, I get that it's a business and we can talk about all the tangibles. I do a lot of business coaching and we talk a lot about money on this channel. And I know it makes the business a business, and that's a real part of it. But without your passion, without your heart, if you're only doing it for the money, why wouldn't you go work in another industry? Most of us don't make that much money in this industry. Okay, it's like very few, right? So why wouldn't you want to lead from this to really experience the wholeheartedness of your work and your creativity inside of this industry? Okay, so love that. Thank you for that, Summer. That's really great. Let's see. Any other questions from the group here? I'm gonna just remind everyone that if you scroll up to the top of this chat box, I've dropped a link for a free guide. Grab the guide and download the guide. It will help you. It will help you move forward in your career more mindfully in a way that will support your success from the inside out. So a lot of what we talk about on this channel is soft skill stuff to complement your trade skills. So we don't necessarily teach you how to make music, how to make the film, right? But we support you in all the soft skill stuff that makes the making of those things exponentially better and more wonderful and more rewarding, because the relationship that you have with yourself and the relationship that you have with others is so much more rewarding. So we really lean into that. Grab the guide. And Summer says, I've always been creating art to serve and share and express. Beautiful, beautiful values. Now, how to monetize it in a better way so I can afford to keep living in New York City. Oh, girl. Yes, I totally hear you on that. As someone who left New York City during the pandemic, I actually am even more successful financially now that I have left the city, but I miss New York City every day. I was doing well in New York City, but I'm even more successful now here in Ohio. And I am very grateful for that. And I realize that I'm very lucky to be in a position to say that sitting here today. All that is to say, I think that when you get really, really clear, Summer, when you get really, really clear on what you want, make sure you write it down and you put it everywhere. You want to look at it every day and you want to own it. It is though it is already happening and it's yours, right? So it's not even future rich, it's now rich because it's up here. You feel it, you live it. Whatever rich means to you. And by the way, not everybody defines success by the bottom line. And I know you don't, Summer. So what I'm hearing you say is you really define it by this idea of service and sharing and expression. And in addition to that, now how do you monetize it so that you can make a living? Yeah, it is a common question. And I would just say, lean on your core values, get really, really clear about what you want, write it down and make it yours. And if you have any questions moving forward, you should join our community, Summer. We would love to have you. Join CoMuse. We have coaching every week, and we would love to have you there. And you would get all the support you need to move that forward. It's such a beautiful community of entrepreneurs working working in all the creative industries, and we're all working on something concurrently, different projects, of course, in different companies, but we're all working on our thing to move it forward. So yeah, you definitely have to check it out at CoMuse. I want to hit Broadway musical TV series that makes life-changing impact. I remember you talking about this, Summer. I remember you talking about this. Yeah, so you still have the vision for this musical. I love it. I actually have someone that I can put you in touch with that might want to collaborate with you. He is a producer and a show producer, and perhaps there's some ideas there that you two might come up with just by talking. Just some creative inspiration comes out of it. Love that. Summer, please message me afterwards, and I will put you together with Andrew. Wonderful. Okay, let's just check the time here. We are at 3:17, so we've got time for one last question. And I am going to, there's a lot of questions here, so I'm working off of two screens here, so just bear with me. Let's see here. How do I stay relevant in a constantly changing industry and without burning out? Yeah. Core values. Core values are going to keep you going. If you're not clear on your core values, hit me up. Summer, yeah. Yes. Here, hit me up directly. Here's my email. There you go. All right. And let's see here. Let's see if we can get one more that might be a little bit. Okay. How do I balance passion projects with paid work without losing motivation? Okay, this is good. Let me reread this question one more time. How do I balance passion projects with paid work without losing motivation? Okay, so this question means passion projects, unpaid work versus paid work. Okay, so this is a really great question because it really does depend on what you value most and what is most important to you in this now moment. We all need to make a living. Okay, so as your coach today, I am telling you that it is okay to get a job. I have had many jobs throughout my 30-year career in entertainment, and I highly recommend a job if you need money to come in to support yourself so that you can put food on the table and keep the lights on. It is so important to be able to work on your passion projects without being in survival mode all the time, because being in survival mode is very restricting and constricting in your energy. All your energy is, oh shit, what am I going to do to eat next month? How am I going to pay my rent next month, right? I know oftentimes we want to hold out for the big job that is aligned with our passions. There's been a lot of layoffs and a lot of movement happening in tech and media and music and entertainment right now. I am on LinkedIn constantly, and I have jobs coming across my desk all the time. There's a lot of moving around right now and people getting displaced and replaced. All that is to say, in the meantime, remember how I said earlier, don't wait if the ball is in someone else's court. Don't wait for them to get back to you. Keep moving, keep that energy moving. It's so important to keep the energy moving. So keep moving with the job. Go get a job. It was not beneath me to do babysitting or nanny work or work at a restaurant, or it doesn't matter as long as it's legal. Go get a job and bring some money in so that you can relax and you can have, even if it's just 15 minutes a day, set aside to work on your passion projects, or even just an hour on the weekends, whenever you can find time. If it's something that speaks to you from your heart, you will make time, even if it's just a little time, make the time, right? So that there is a metric for success week over week. You can say, okay, for the last, I'm talking like, very limited time example here. For the last 6 months, I have spent 20 minutes every weekend working on my passion project. And in the meantime, I am working at my job and I'm keeping the lights on and I am doing all these things. In the meantime, and you toggle back and forth, back to the passion project. I have picked up all these new skills in the last 6 months working on this passion project, which I can add to my resume to get a different job. So it all builds upon itself. Please, if you can, I encourage you, if you are in survival mode, and I have been there more than 3 times in my adult career. Okay. It is okay to get a job. As a matter of fact, it's wonderful to get a job because you have money coming in and you know that you can pay your bills and keep a roof over your head. It is so important. Throw me a heart if you feel me on this, because I just am so passionate about jobs. Sometimes it doesn't have to be the end all be all job. Sometimes just bringing in enough money to pay the bills is good enough for now. And that is okay. And then you can relax and you can spend a little bit of time on your passion projects, right? So fit them in, right? So you may have limited time, but if it doesn't go on your calendar, it's probably not going to happen. So sit down with your calendar and say, I only have, for example, 20 minutes a week that I can work on my passion project. And right now, that's good enough. But I have to put it on the calendar because if I don't, it's probably not going to get done. Right? A job, just to differentiate here, a job is a means to the next thing. A job isn't for the rest of our lives. A job keeps the money coming in while we grow our passions until we can monetize our passions. Love that, Sinatra. Yeah. Love that. Okay. So I'm so close to raising capital, yet I was just offered a legit job. Oh, congratulations. All right. This is awesome. Salary. And they would move me to Nashville as a marketing project manager. Oh my goodness, Summer. Well, what a wonderful opportunity to find yourself in. Girl, go get some money. And keep working on your passion project. Keep putting it on the calendar. Keep going. You can remember, nothing is permanent. You can always change your direction and change your mind. If you can, because you're a creative and creativity is limitless. I'm putting it in the chat. Creativity is limitless. And that means that isn't just the thing or the service that you're making or providing. It's also the solutions that you come up with for your life and your career and how resilient you can be in your life and your career. Jobs help you become more resilient because they keep the money coming in. Okay. Go make some money, support yourself, and keep working on your dream. I love it. I am just so grateful to this wonderful Q&A. I didn't know how this is my first Q&A live here on our Compassion Rocks YouTube channel. And so I'm just so pleased and excited to see how this is going today. We're definitely going to do another one. Love this. Thank you, Summer. Thank you to all of you. Thank you, Ginger. Thank you, Clay. Thank you all for joining today. It is so wonderful to have you here. Do pick up the free guide. Get the guide. Okay, it's pinned to the top of this chat. Let me know if you need me to paste it. If you can't access it, let me know in the chat. Maybe I can do that from here. Let's see. Here's the link again if you need it. Oh, I don't think that worked. Okay, we'll try again. There we go. Yes, if you scroll to the top of this chat, you'll be able to grab the guide. Grab the guide, support yourself. If you have any questions, reach out through the channel. You can message me. Okay, join the community. Oh my gosh, we have such a beautiful community here at CoMuse of creative entrepreneurs working in music, media, arts, and entertainment. We're all working on our thing. We're all working on our passion projects. Some of them are side hustles, some of them are full-time gigs. The amount of creativity coming out of this community is just mind-blowing. And the amount of compassion for one another coming out and support coming out of this community is mind-blowing. It's a beautiful community. Please join us. You can go to comuse.org to check that out. We're running a free promotion right now, by the way. You can join free for a whole month and get a free month's worth of coaching. And where can you get that? And as I like to say, keep on keeping on, and compassion rocks. And I will see you all next week for our next video. Thank you again, and take care. Bye-bye.